The world isn't ending, but maybe it is. Let's talk about some stuff and hope that it's not. She's got a podcast, it's really great. Her name's Shelly Murder with Not Small Talk.
Hi, my name is Shelly Murder, and welcome to Not Small Talk, Pets Podcast, where today I'm going to be talking about pets and adoption and everything that goes with that, because I am a huge animal lover. I have grown up with pets my whole life. I grew up with like 5 dogs and cats. Currently, I have 2 dogs. Becky, who is a black lab, who's like 6 years old now. And Buster, who is a really old pug. He's very senile, but we love him. And, of course, we're going to take care of him until his life comes to an end. But I cherish every moment with him. And I also have 4 cats, technically. I have 1 indoor cat, Sugar, who's like 8 or 9 years old. And she's a Maine Coon. She's huge. And I have 3 outdoor cats because I live on a farm and we need outside cats to kill all the rats and vermin and voles and whatnot. So I don't know what kind they are, but they're pretty big. I don't know if they're just big because they eat so much poor little creatures and like bathe in their blood or whatever, but their names are Thomas, Whiskey, and Bubbles. And we have them fixed. Don't worry, they're not out there spreading their genes as they would want to do, but they can't because they're neutered and spayed. And they just stay on the property. We feed them. When it's cold, especially at night, we let them into the garage, which has a heater. So we take pretty good care of them, but we definitely need them to be outside to kill all of those horrible, horrible, gross mice and rats, particularly. Okay, so that's my background. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I want to give you the idea that I really do love animals. So I am a little biased when it comes to this topic, but lately, over the past couple of years, the adopt, don't shop movement has been growing. I don't know if it started with PETA or not. I mean, PETA has been playing into it, of course, but so have the ASPCA and the Humane Society of the United States. All of those organizations, legitimate ones and not as legitimate ones, are playing into this. And I wanted to look at it as unbiased as I possibly can and see what the evidence is. Is the adopt, don't shop movement a good idea? Is it better to adopt and not shop? And I'm not just looking at it, I'm trying to be unbiased. I'm trying to give you evidence and facts and not just, well, you shouldn't shop because of, it's killing the animals. It's like, I want to give you real reasons and background. Okay, so I'm giving you some background statistics right now, and it's from the ASPCA, so it's legit. Every year, 7.6 million dogs and cats enter the only around 13,000 shelters across the United States. So every year, those 13,000-ish shelters and humane societies have to take in 7.6 million dogs and cats. And if divided equally, that's about 56 pets per shelter. That's a lot. Not every shelter, and I'm not saying that every single shelter gets 56 pets per year. That's just an average number. But if we're looking at it, I know personally in my hometown, our Humane Society is very small, and they probably get at least 56 pets per year, and they have a very hard time taking care of all those pets. And then there's big city humane societies and shelters that can handle probably a lot more than 56. But I know the small county humane societies and animal shelters cannot handle that amount. It's a lot of animals to take care of, considering animal shelters are nonprofit. They have to be. And they rely mostly on donations to take care of the animals and to pay their employees. And those donations don't always come as much as they're needed, unfortunately. Okay. And also, every year, 2.7 million shelter pets are euthanized and 2.7 are adopted. It's about 50-50. Now, I know a lot of you are like, but Shelly, you animal shelters aren't supposed to euthanize their animals. And you're right, sort of. They can euthanize pets that are not adoptable. And that means really aggressive dogs, or dogs and cats that are sick, or cats that just are so aggressive or have so many issues that they know they're not going to be adopted. And it's more cost effective to euthanize them than it is to hold them in that shelter because they know they're not going to be adopted. So unfortunately, that's how it is. And also that's not even taking into account like dog pounds. Dog pounds usually will only hold a dog for 3 days, 72 hours. And if no one comes to claim that dog, or that dog isn't taken by a humane society or an animal shelter, they're euthanized. And that's what mostly happens. So a lot of that euthanasia statistic is from dog pounds. Keep that in mind. Okay. Most people get their pets from family members and friends who can't take care of them anymore. But a lot of people get their pets from shelters or pet stores. So the majority of people just get their pets from somebody they know. They don't actually go seeking for a pet. I know in my experience, a lot of times we've gotten our dogs and cats over the years because our family friends or family members just really couldn't take care of their dog or their cat anymore. And they're like, hey, we know you guys love animals. We can't take care of our kitty anymore. Can you take care of her? And we're like, sure. So that's what most people do. But some people, which when I'm talking most, I'm talking about the millions of people across the United States, okay? So when I say some, I'm not talking about a couple thousand people. I'm talking about millions of people, okay? So anyway, so some people do actually seek for a pet at an animal shelter or a pet store. Now, I'm going to argue, and remember, I'm biased, but I'm going to argue for why you shouldn't get a pet from a pet store using evidence that I've gotten from the National Humane Society website. Once again, this is the Humane Society of the United States, not PETA, not an animal rights website. This is a legitimate website. Okay, so most people don't actually get their cats, when I'm just talking cats here, most people don't get their cats from breeders or stores. They get them from the street as strays or from a shelter. So what I'm going to say from here on out doesn't apply to cats. Just getting that out of the way. Most people don't actually get their cats from a store or a breeder because there's so many strays already out there, and most pets in animal shelters are cats, that if somebody wants a cat, they're not going to go seeking for it to pay hundreds of dollars for it at a breeder or a pet store. They're just going to pick it up off the street. Okay, but dogs, on the other hand, a lot of people do get their dogs from pet stores or breeders because they want a specific breed, pure breed dog, because that means something to them. Cats don't really apply to this. Okay, so most puppies, and this is fact, most puppies in pet stores or offline like Craigslist, most of those puppies are actually from puppy mills. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's fact. So what are puppy mills? Because a lot of people don't actually know what those are, which is surprising to me because coming from an animal-loving, friendly family, I've always known about puppy mills and why they're really bad organizations. So puppy mills are factory-like illegal organizations that breed dogs over and over again to sell the puppies. It's a cost-effective organization. So once the dogs are of no use anymore, as in they can't have puppies anymore for whatever reason, because they're too old, because they're sick, they get rid of them, usually by killing them or abandoning them or selling them to another puppy mill. And it's because it's cost effective. How many times can we breed this dog over and over again so we can get the most puppies out of it and then sell the puppies for an expensive price because they're purebred and people will pay a lot of money for purebred dogs, especially puppies. And it's just easier to kill the female mothers once they're of no use anymore because they're not going to continue to feed and take care of those female dogs if they can't have puppies. It's a factory-like thing. It's like not an assembly line, but It's all about being cost effective. And that's why they do the things that they do. It's not because they're evil or sadistic. I mean, some of the people might be, but the real reason is that it's cost effective. Okay, so the puppy mill puppies people buy from pet stores usually end up with serious health conditions like giardia, parvovirus, distemper, upper respiratory infections, kennel cough, and then later they end up dying young. So somebody will pay $500, $1,000 for your purebred puppy from Petland or some other pet store, and on top of spending all of that money and not knowing that that puppy came from a puppy mill and they were horribly mistreated, then it dies 5-10 years before it's supposed to, before its lifespan is up, which is awful. It's obviously animal cruelty, but it's also bad for the person that spent a ridiculous amount of money thinking that they're getting a healthy, purebred dog, and then it dies young. Or if it doesn't die young, they have to spend another shit ton of money on vet bills and medications to treat all of those diseases that they usually come from the puppy mills to the pet stores with. And those pet stores know that those dogs are diseased, yet they sell them anyway because it's cost effective. They can make a profit off of it. So basically, if you buy from the pet store or from Craigslist, for example, you are supporting puppy mills. And I know it's unfortunate and it's hard to hear, but that's what you're doing. So that's why the adopt, don't shop movement has come about. Because if you buy from the pet store, you're supporting puppy mills, which are they're cruel organizations, and we're trying to put a stop to them. So the only way to not support those organizations is to adopt your pets. So that's my argument. So moving forward from that, I'm going to do my PSA, public service announcement, and that is pets are good for you. Believe it or not, they are. All of this information has come from my health communications textbook, Communicating About Health by Athena Dupre. Animal companions, or pets, have been the focus of many research studies of late to see how they influence our health. Those studies have found that individuals with pets of all kinds, including but not limited to dogs, cats, and horses, have less anxiety, lower blood pressure, and even faster recovery time and higher chances of survival after heart attacks. That's huge. So many people die from heart attacks every year, and just owning a pet gives you faster recovery time and higher chances of survival, which is amazing. Even further, people who adopt their pets are even less stressed out and even healthier than people who bought their pets from a store. So there's another reason to adopt and not shop. It'll make you healthier, and it'll keep your pets healthy. Therefore, once again, adoption is good for the animals who need loving homes, and it's good for preserving the health and happiness of their owners. Now, I would like to talk about a couple of pet rescues that are in my life in Ohio. So if you're not from Ohio, this may feel like it doesn't apply to you, but it does. You can always donate to these organizations on their website, and I'll give that to you at the end. So first, I want to talk about One of a Kind Pet Rescue. It's a nonprofit animal shelter in Akron, Ohio. There is no time limit, meaning that they will take care of all adoptable animals until they find homes. And they will not euthanize any adoptable animals, which most animal shelters do that anyway, but just something to put out there. The main goal that they have is saving animals that are about to be euthanized, like in the dog pound, and also homeless strays. So particularly, they get most of their dogs from dog pounds to save them from being euthanized, because like I said earlier, dogs only have a 72-hour wait period before they're euthanized in a dog pound. So I actually visited One of a Kind Pet Rescue, and it was so fun. It was amazing. There were no cages for any of their cats. normally cats, at least in the pet rescues I've been to before, cats are kept in these like cages or kennels, and it feels uncomfortable to get them out and play with them because they're locked away in these cages. I don't know what it is about seeing an animal in a cage in a situation like being in an animal shelter, but for me, I noticed that I feel uncomfortable asking to take the animal out to play with it. But at One of a Kind, all of their cats are in these fun visitation rooms where it is encouraged to spend a lot of time with them. Because they have so many pets, their volunteers and workers can't spend half an hour with every single one of them. So they want their visitors, even if the visitor can't afford to adopt at that moment, to spend time with their animals to give them that loving companionship that they need. And also, their dogs were kept in fun vegetation rooms too, but I'm just talking about the cats because I'm a cat person, and cats don't get adopted as quickly as dogs do, especially older cats, adults, and senior cats. But I fell in love with this female black cat named Henna. She was fucking adorable and really friendly. She walked right up to me and let me pet her, which I have never experienced before in an animal shelter, just not even having to like coo at the animal. The animal just runs right up to me like, hey, hello, love me. And when I sat down in the chair, she crawled right up on my lap and fell asleep. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the cuteness. It was so adorable. And really, if I could, I would adopt her right now. But I can't because I'm not allowed to have pets in my dorm room, unfortunately. Which needs to be addressed because if pets are good for me and reduce my stress, then I need one because college is fucking stressful. But I'm asking you right now that if you live near Akron, to visit One of a Kind and spend some time with Henna. Of course, I want you to spend time with all of the animals at One of a Kind and support them in any way you can, but Henna is just such a nice cat, and I don't want her to go without a home. So if you can, visit One of a Kind. Their address is 1929 West Market Street, Akron, Ohio, 44313 is the zip code, and their phone number is 330-865-6200. Also, their website is www.oneofakindpets.com. And then the second animal shelter I want to talk about is my local shelter in Marion County. It's the Marion County Humane Society. And they're really good too. They're good people. And of course, they're doing good things for Marion by taking care of pets that don't have a home and finding them homes. But it's just not the same after going to One of a Kind. They keep their cats in cages and kennels. They keep their dogs in kennels. It's not an inviting place. The workers there give you weird looks if you're just coming in to spend time with the animals, which in my opinion is frustrating. I know it's not a zoo, but like I said earlier about One of a Kind, Marion also has a lot of stray animals that they take care of too. And there's no way that all of their workers can spend a considerable amount of time with each of those pets. And if those pets don't have people who spend time with them, they're not going to like people anymore. So Marion Humane Society should really think about redesigning if they can, or just making it feel like a more inviting place, because it is not. But support. Hey guys, so I lost the audio for the rest of the podcast. But it doesn't really matter. I didn't really say anything else that was important, other than if you want to check out One of a Kind or the Marion Area Humane Society website, the link is in the description. And also, I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the video, and if you want to talk about kitties and doggos with me some more, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing, fantastic day.